Okay, so today is the second week of the 7 Critical Steps webinar series. So last week, we met last Wednesday, and we talked about the market. All right, the market and where you should be focusing right now. Okay. And this week, we're going to be talking about setting up your office. Setting up your office. And if you need any of the videos, like the past videos, or if you miss any of the 7 weeks, all you have to do is go into the training site. Okay. And then the training site is where all the webinars are going to be. So just, it's in the members portal. Okay. In the members portal under training replays, I think is where it's at. Okay. So anyways, okay, so today we're going to talk about setting up your office and how to make it like, virtual. We can go a little bit over I want to show you, like, I'm going to show you Google Drive and essentially how I utilize that to manage my entire office. Okay. And really just kind of, and then any questions that you have about setting up your companies. Okay. And let's see. And that's kind of what we're going to go over today. So really setting up your office, setting up the structure of your company, getting it sort of like you're laying the foundation of your company down and starting to automate and systematize it. Those are the goals for the day. Okay. Now, before we get started, I wanted to remind you guys that y'all are all affiliates of REI USA. So what that means is that when you go into the members portal, you automatically have an affiliate link set up. All right, it's right in your little account, in your account area, and then you can get that link and you can post out and share it with everybody else, and then you get paid to if anybody signs up. So, and right now it's free to try REI USA. It's the first month is free, so essentially you can just post out and be like, hey, everybody, just try this out, and then once they're actually a member for 60 days, we'll pay you, right? So like, they have to pay 1 month, and when they pay, then we'll pay you. Okay, kind of how it works. But so definitely, I remind everybody, utilize your affiliate links. We can kind of get the word out, spread the word about this. And we've got like February, so there's not a lot of stuff on the calendar right now because we're trying to figure it all out, honestly. Like, I mean, we have so many like meetings and super groups and teachers and all kinds of stuff. And so we're just kind of like, it's slowly coming on. So you'll see next week is more. And then February is just like so many stuff, so many different things. Okay. So promise, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm like doing all the webinars this month. I'm just doing them all because I know this month we're trying to get everything going and everything. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to pull up my, Google Drive. And I'm going to just kind of show you how you should really automate and systematize everything on the back end. Okay. Get this going here. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? I want to just say, and actually I'm going to get the chat here. I think I can drag this. Can I? Yes, I can drag this. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yes, okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here. Bada bing, bada boom. Move this over here. Move this over here. No, not over here. Okay. Okay, so we are in Google Drive. All right, this is my Google Drive. This is how we run our company. Okay, so when you go into Google Drive, actually put into the chat. Do you guys use Google Drive now? I'm wondering, how are you using OneDrive or Google Drive, or how are you, like, you're not doing anything at all? How do you manage all of the files on your desktop? How do you manage, like, okay, actually, let me like not share this for a minute because people are getting here. Okay. Outlook, all of your files are just in Outlook, like as emails. Okay. All right. So as a 21st century investor, right? You have to be like completely electronic and completely virtual. Okay, because now you're going to go out and you're going to start looking for property. And And we're going to get into marketing next Wednesday. Okay, so all your strategies and things that you should doing are on next week. But right now it's like, okay, when you're going out and looking for property, actually, y'all tell me, what's the very first thing that y'all do when you get out there and look at a property? What's kind of the first couple of things that you should do? Um, and and everybody does this. I know all y'all do this. What is the first couple of things that you do to go look at a property? Any guesses? What's like the very first thing that everybody's ever? I mean, most typically this is kind of what everybody does. Anybody have any guesses at all? Nobody? Okay. All right. So the very first thing that everybody does is they like, start taking pictures, right? You're like, oh, I got to take some pictures of this property, right? Or I do a video of the property. And I do this too. I get out and I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely. I need to take some pictures because I need to remember this property. I'm going to take a quick video, and walk the property. It's kind of that's what I do, right? So essentially, and this is what I teach all my students in my coaching program, all right, is that you should on your phone, you should have Google Drive on your phone right here. See the little icon? This is like on the home screen for me because I use it like all the time, right? This is the way I manage my company. So when you're out looking at properties, right? There's a couple of things that I use all the time. Number one is Google Drive. So you want to have that on your phone or whatever it is, OneDrive or whatever. Somebody says maybe OneDrive or whatever it is. But that one kind of app that connects your phone to your computer is really what it is, okay? So that you can be in the cloud. So the whole point is that now you're creating a company that's in the cloud so that you can be anywhere in the world and run your company. So that's what this is about. That's what this whole training session is about. Is how can you start setting up the foundations of your business so that you can be anywhere in the world and run your company. And the first thing that you should do is have Google Drive on your phone or OneDrive or Basecamp or what are they called? Dropbox, one of these kind of like in the cloud services, right? Where you have to like pay, it's free for X amount and then you fill it up and then you have to start paying like $2 a month. And then pretty soon you're just like, oh my gosh, I need unlimited. And it's like, now we're at unlimited. I think it's like $10 a month or something for Google. Okay. And so then when you go out and start looking at these properties, if it's whatever type of property, if it's a house, or if it's a commercial property, or in my case, it'd be like a storage facility, in any type of property to go out to, right? The first thing that you're always doing is like, let me take a whole bunch of pictures. I cannot forget this. I cannot forget everything about this place. I got to take like 1,000,000 pictures, right? And let me do a video too, right? And that's always like, and if you're not doing videos when you're looking at your properties, well, you need to start doing video, right? Because now it's like, it's all video anyways. So you want to be like taking your video, doing your property. So now you go to the next property and you do the same thing. And you're like, especially when I'm out like driving for storage. And all of a sudden I've been to like 10 different storage facilities. And I'm like, where the hell have I even been? I have no idea. I can't remember any storage facilities. And so luckily you have like all your pictures on your phone and stuff, right? But essentially they're only on your phone. That's it. They're only on your phone unless you start doing something with them, right? So what I do personally on my phone is we back everything up on our phone to Google Photos, number one, right? So everything is backed up to Google Photos. And so that way we can get into Google Photos, right? And then like look at all the pictures. And in Google Photos, when you open up Google Photos, you can click every single picture that you want, and then you can upload it to a specific folder in Google Drive. Does everybody know what I'm talking about on this? Say yes or no on this, okay? So you take all these pictures, take them in Google, and you open them up in Google folders, and then you click them all and say, yes, upload these pictures to XYZ folder in Google Drive. All right, so what happens in the Google Drive, you have to start a folder in Google Drive, and it's like the address of the house. And you want it, or the address of the storage facility or property, whatever property is. So you want to make sure that you have that folder created in Google Drive, right? And let me kind of show you what I'm talking about, so y'all have an idea, because nobody's chatting. So I'm either putting y'all to sleep or y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, so let me see. So for instance, this one right here is 7 Redbud Trail. Right, 7 Redbud Trail is like a house that I did like what, a gazillion years ago. Okay, isn't this the most beautiful folder that you ever seen in your entire life? Look at that. When you open up a folder and all of this is just folders and everything in that folder is labeled properly. Who has a folder like this? I want to know. Does anybody have any folders on Google Drive? Anybody like as organized as I am on Google Drive? Tell me in the chat. All right, so what I'm talking about is, as you can see, right, this folder right here is the house, right, or 7 Redbud Trail. This is the house. Okay, and then, right, so here, like this folder right here is the before pictures. So I went to that house, I took like a gazillion pictures of this house, right? And I had them all like in my camera, and then I just opened up Google Photos, and I saved all of those pictures into this folder on the drive. And so now all these pictures are in the drive in a folder labeled before pictures of my property. Okay. And let's see, 7 Redbud Trail. So this is kind of what I'm talking about when you start getting into the habit of truly making your Google Drive so organized that you can like find anything at any time, anywhere in the country. Okay, anything at any time, anywhere in the country should be in your, there's no like, oh, I left that at the office. I have to wait till I get to the office now in order to do that, right? So like I said, so we travel, 6 to 8 months out of the year, and we're so in the habit of putting everything on Google Drive that essentially that's all we need is our laptop, right? To manage everything that we're doing. So there's nothing that we're leaving behind at all, no paperwork or anything. And let me see, here's participants. I'm going to put this over here so I can see y'all. Introduce yourselves to me in the chat. Where are you located? What's your experience with investing? Okay. Are you newbies? What are you interested in? What niches and things like this? So this is the 7 critical steps. This is, I believe, the 7 most important things that you should be doing to lay the foundations of your business. That's what we're learning about. Okay. And this week is how to set up your office electronically, how to be able to be anywhere in the world and run your office. That's what this is about. Who's organized with everything that they do? Dot loop is for realtors. So are you a realtor? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm talking about not being I'm talking about everything outside. So I even outside. So I don't know how good dot loop is, but essentially like, even for instance, like here's my drive on the left, you can see the folders as we open it up. Does anybody here not know Google Drive at all? Like, it's just like, I have no idea what Google Drive is, or I have never used it before, and this kind of thing. Let me know, okay? And if you have any questions or anything like that, just put them right into the chat. Introduce yourself in the chat, all right, please, so I know who you are. Okay, so like this is essentially, this is like all the properties, like, so you can see all the properties that we've ever done anything to are all here on the left. This is Google Drive, okay? And then let me scroll down here. This is my properties. Scroll down. Keep going. Okay, here it is. Okay, so then as you can see here, I've got accounting and bookkeeping folder, right? I've got like, here's like some acquisitions templates. It's a lot of teaching stuff that I have in here as well. But Let's see who else. This is somebody that took me to court. Let's see who else. Rockaway. Oh, this is a house. Let's see. Ask is coaching. So as you can see, I've created all these folders here that are not properties, right? This is just like, this is essentially Google for me is how I save my documents. So instead of saving them on my laptop, right, I save them into the Google Drive. So that way I can be like, if I'm sitting at my attorney's office and my attorney is like, Stacy, I never got this blah, 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 blah from you. We can't close unless you have this document. I could be like, oh, bing, bang, boom, pull out my phone, open up my Google Drive, and then just be like, doo, 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 and then like share it with my attorney right then and there. Okay. And believe me, I have been in that position before where I'm sitting and the attorney's like, you didn't give me this document. And I was like, oh, yes, I did. Just do it right then and there and just resend it. Could you imagine if you were at a closing and then they were like, oh, we never got this one thing from you, right? And then you're like, we can't close today. That would be horrible. So horrible. Right. And that has happened to me for me before. Now we're doing a lot of virtual closings now, so it doesn't really happen much because it's just like mailaways and stuff. But yeah, like that has happened before. Okay, so you don't want to get into that kind of predicament. No. All right. So as you can see, so I know you said that you like, I think it was Leanne that said that. Let me check. Leanne said, yeah, right here. Leanne, you said you use dot loop. Oh, no. Is that done? Yeah, Leanne. Okay, so Leanne said she uses dot loop, but that's really kind of like, I guess you could probably save everything for properties in there. But can you in dot loop save like your personal like account, like, all my tax stuff and everything like that? And actually what I love about Google Drive is, so for instance, like my accounting and my bookkeeping folder here, like you see, this is all the years. Like essentially I just come in here, see accounting and bookkeeping, I right click and I share, right? And then I share this folder with my accountant and my bookkeeper, right? You share, like you just come in and you share all that right here. Okay. And that's how you do it. You just right click and share, or you can just get the link. And then you can just get the link and then send that out as well too. Okay. And that's really kind of that's kind of it. And then another thing that I love about Google Drive is that you can have one document. So you could see, for instance, like we're working right now on, let's see what we're looking on, the Badass Summit, right? Which we're going to be doing here, right? So if I go into like the Badass Summit, let me see, hang on. Yeah. So the Badass Summit, like this is the like the speakers, right? So I can share this with them just by clicking here and then share this out, like all the teachers, right? Or I can come in and make them editors. So for instance, like, let me see, like on this 7 Redbud Trail. Okay, I could come in here and then right click on it and like share. I could share this and get the link with, like, this is our whole team, that's all shared, right? Or I could just come in and then right click and then just should get the link right here. See, copy this link. And then I take this link and I go into my email and I can share that with that. Now, 2 things is, when you share stuff, you can give them like editor copies, and you can give them also like view copy, right? So they can just view it, or they can like get in there and edit it and do all their stuff, right? So, and then another thing is that like this Badass Women's Summit, like I'm working on this summit here, and on this spreadsheet, and at the same time, my entire team can be in here changing stuff and doing stuff together. And that's one thing that I love, is like we can be like, we'll have a meeting together, and then we have like, our whatever, like our tasks and stuff. We have one main sheet, we open it up, and then we're all in there like updating and doing stuff together. And that is what like I love about Google Drive, is the sharing capabilities and that we can all work together. Okay. Anyway, so back to like 7 Redbud Trails. So this is one of the houses that we went out and looked at. We took a whole bunch of pictures, right? And then we put them into the folder. And here's the before pictures, right? So all the pictures went in here. And this is like all just like a whole bunch of pictures, right? And these were all uploaded from Google Photos, right? And remember, Google Photos backs up all of our pictures on our camera. So essentially we can delete all the pictures on our camera. There's no reason for us to have 1,000 pictures on our camera. It takes up too much space and stuff, right? So back it up to Google Photos, delete them off like that, so your phone will run faster and stuff. And then you can upload them into your Google Drive folder. And then once you upload them to your Google Drive folder, if you wanted to, you could just delete them off Google if you wanted to. But sometimes we do that, sometimes we don't do that. Now, let's see what else. Okay, so this is what the Google Drive folder looks for every single one of the projects that we work on, okay? As you can see, like every single folder is completely like named what it's supposed to be named. All right. And because that's like very annoying to me. So my team knows like when they put something into a folder, they need to actually name it. Like I don't want to have something in my folder that's like XYZWQ, and then I have to sit there and like open every single thing up, right? Because I'm just like, what is this thing, man? This is so annoying, and I got to open everything up. So my team knows, like, can you, like, please, they know to save it as what it truly should be. I see some questions. Let me make sure I don't miss these questions. Okay, Leanne says, do you set up a new workspace becomes folder? I just sent you 2 uploaded Google Photos to go. I just sent 2 uploaded Google Photos, but not showing on phone. Do you set up a new workplace? Can you start a folder with the start and show folder? Okay, yeah, I can do that. Okay, so let's just go back to my drive, which is like the main folder area, right? That's my drive is the main folder. And then on the left, so you see, just do new, and then you can either do a new file or a new folder, or you can do a new doc, a sheet, or a slide, or a form. Okay, so docs is like Word doc. Sheet is like Excel. Slides is like PowerPoint. All right, that's kind of like how it is, right? So we don't even use PowerPoint, or we just use like Google Docs and Google Sheets. Like we just open it up and we'll start another sheet right then and there. Okay. And so that way we just keep everything. We don't make it in Excel and then upload it. We just don't do that. Rarely ever do we do that. Okay. We just make everything right in Google now. That's kind of how we do it. And here's the file. You can upload a folder or a file, or you can start a folder. So here's starting a folder, and we can call this like 123 REI USA Street. Okay. Isn't that such a good name? And right here, so there it is. Like you can see, it just puts it in numerical order too. It's like, oh, there it is. So 123 REI USA Street has been made. And then you open that up and there's nothing there, right? Because there's nothing there. And then you're like, oh yeah, I want to create a folder right here. And it's called new pics. Or let's do old pics. Let's do before pics. Before pics or before pictures, whatever you want to call it, okay? And so that's the folder. And then you open it up, and this is the folder that you save all of the pictures of your house or property or storage facility or whatever it is right into this folder. Right, so now you have this one folder here, before pictures. This is your very first step. This is the very first step, right? And then you go back to the main, and you can just toggle from like that. It goes across whichever one it is. And I'm going back to the main folder now. Now I'm like, all right, I got my pictures in. Now the next step, right, would be like, and then you could put like a new folder and call it like contract and offer, right? And you're like, man, I love this deal, right? And then you're like, I want to put an offer in, and you would just put it like right in this contract that you fill out. You just put it right into this, right? Whatever the steps are. Let's see, you could do another file that says another folder that says You can do like we always do acquisitions is what we do folder. We have acquisitions, and then inside acquisitions, right, we would have like a couple of different things. Like we would have like the deal analyzer, maybe some comps, like everything that we need in order to make a decision on that property would be put into like an acquisitions folder, right? Something like that. And then you could go back and say, you know what, I think, and you can make folders within folders within folders, right? You can just do like a whole thing. You could say, all right, I need to, like, now it's time for me to do like the scope and spec sheet. Right? And then you just do like this, you put it in, you say, okay, here's my scope of work and spec sheet. And then you open that up, and then you could upload your scope of work and spec sheet. Or you can create inside of this, you'd be like, all right, it's about time for me to create my scope of work now. So I'm going to start this. Oops. That's not what I wanted, that's file. So I'm in there, new, and then go to Google Sheet. I don't know how you do your scope of work, but I put them all in Google Sheets. That's how we do it. And then I could be like, all right, my scope of work for 123 REI USA is this, right? So we just do like this, and you save this. So scope of work for 123 REI USA. All right, is here. And then you just like, list out all your stuff that you want to do or whatever. You're creating a sheet, okay? And that's, see how it's creating this sheet right in here and right in Google Drive. It's just an Excel spreadsheet created right in Google Drive, okay? And that's here. See, scope of work is right here. And it's all saved in there, nice and neat, okay? And so if you go back here to like 7 Redbud Trail, and you can see all the folders here, you can see kind of the folders that we do, right? And I'll show you a couple of different examples of houses that this is how every single one of our properties looks like. So you have before pictures. PML is private money lender packet. This is like the executive summary and everything that we give to the private money lender to look at the deal. Inspection, like maybe a home inspection or whatever, maybe it's even like inspections from the city or whatever it is. Invoice, all of our invoices and receipts for every single one of the projects that we did, scope of work and spec sheet, lien waivers, contractors, progress pictures, like as we go through the property, weekly reviews, change orders, warranties, right? So you got all this kind of stuff here. Flooring bids, attic and crawl space pictures, and then closing docs, property insurance, right? So just like random stuff, like you just create folders and you just put everything in there, however you want to order, however your brain works, right? You just create your own folders. Okay, so that's kind of one example. Let me see. Let's try another one. Let's see. Here's our one. Let's see. Let's do. Let's see what Hermer looks like. Hermer. Okay. All right. So look, here's Hermer, 264 Hermer circle, right? Like I said, this is exactly, now these have pictures in it at the bottom. They didn't go into the right folder. That's so annoying. Huh? And where's my team? What are they doing here? Come on. But anyways, as you can see, all the pictures, all the folders are here. The same folders, everything's here. Plans, scope of work, contractor bids, insurance, etc. Staging, invoicing, selling the place, selling it, your contracts, everything is all in this Google Drive. So all you have to do is start your folder and then upload all of your docs right into there. And see, the thing is that when you start getting really good at this and create these habits, all this is a habit, right? That's it. Okay. This folder now, this folder, we just like, as soon as we get the pictures and get the acquisition stuff, guess what we do? We just share this folder with our lenders. Right? That's what we do. We share the folder with the lenders. The lenders are like, I want to know, let me see if we can find like yeah, see, here's acquisitions. In our acquisitions folder, this is what we're putting into the folder because this is what the lenders are asking for, right? So they want to see pictures. They want to see the repair estimator, the location of the property, the front of the house, the report card, comps, and then like the deal analyzer. That's what they want to see, right? So this is kind of like the lender's packet, right? So this is actually this acquisitions folder that we have here. This is like exactly what I would need, what I need to know in order to make a decision on the property. Okay, that's what I need to know. And so this is like my acquisitions person, his name is Patrick. He would put everything into this folder for me and say, hey, what do you think about this house? I'm going to share you the link. And then I would open up the link and I would look at everything and so, yeah, let's put an offer in for blah, 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 blah. And then after we got it under contract, if we got the offer accepted, then all we would do is just share this folder with our lender and say, hey, you know, Mr. So-and-so, like this is the house that we got under contract. Here's everything that you need to know about this project. Let me know if you have any other questions, but everything's in there. And here's the link to the project. Okay. And sometimes I would even do a video, right? Sometimes I even do videos, like we're doing like the storage facility that we're buying right now. Here, I think, let me see if I can, I don't know where it is. Let me find this folder. Yeah, here it is. Right. So here's like this one that we just bought. This is like everything that we have in this folder that to make a decision on that. Let me see if there's a video in here. I can't remember if it was this one or which one it was that we did. Oh no, this is Pete's stuff. This is not our stuff. Mine stuff is different. I wonder if it's going to come up. Hang on. I think of the name of it because I don't ever name them. Maybe this is it. Okay. Oh yeah. See, like, so this is a storage facility that we got, and these are like pictures, I think is what this is. Look, and this one, I think this is a picture. No, not this. That's the video. Let me see. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Yeah. See this one, Rick. Our lender, his name is Rick. And like, see, this is a video that I made. And essentially all I'm doing is going over what is in the folder. I just wanted to show you real quick, right? So this is what I'm telling the lender, like, hey, check this out. This is what's in the folder. Okay. And that's what I'm doing is I'm just going over the entire folder and letting him know what's in the folder so he knows exactly where to look. So I shared this link with my lender and then made a quick a video and been like, hey, you know, hey, Rick, like just letting you know, like, here's the deal that I told you about. And here's everything in the deal. Here's the deal analyzer. These are the numbers. And here's the pictures. Here's everything that you need to know about making a decision on this property. And I just put all that right into this folder and shared that link with my lender. And he's like, I'm telling you, my lenders, when I do this, they're like so impressed. They're so impressed, right? Because I just, you know, I'm just like kind of got it together, right? So highly recommend that you are like organizing the internal, you know, the electronic part of your company and laying these foundations down. So you have really everything where you can manage it from your phone with Google Drive. If you need to, you can literally get any file that you need off of your phone just by adding Google Drive onto your folder. And then managing it when you're sitting at your desk by putting your files in properly, right? And then making sure that you can just share that link with whoever is needed in order to see that. And see, what we do with our properties is like our lender, the guy that lent on this, Rick, he has access to this folder at any time that he wants. I mean, he could go in there at any time and he can see the updates and everything that we're doing. So for instance, on the 7 Redbud Circle or 7 Redbud Trail or whatever this one is. So essentially this lender who lent on this, he still has access to that folder. So I think we did this one like 7 years ago. He could still go in, he'll go into his drive and he has like a folder like Stacy's projects. And underneath that in the Google Drive, he has all the projects he's ever lent on. And he can go in at any time and open any one of those projects up and just see. Because later down there, I mean, you know, he might have to do like tax stuff or he can't remember numbers or whatever it is. So he can just get in there and check it out. And that's one of the things that I say to my lenders when I get them to lend to me. It's like, hey, I just want you to know I'm very transparent with everything that we do. I mean, you're going to be able, like, we put everything right into this drive for you. We manage our entire project in this drive so you can see. And what happens is the folders are created as we go along the project, right? So like the before pictures folder is like, you know, is created first. And then we have like the acquisitions folder with all the information that we need to acquire the project. We have a private money lender folder that's created, and we create executive summaries and all this stuff for them. And then it closes, and you have the closing folder with all the closing docs. You have insurance folder with the insurance. And it's like, as you kind of go through the project, you're adding all these folders. Right. And then so what happens is like my lender will be like, where are you at in this project? And I'm just like, go look in the folder, because essentially wherever we are in that folder is kind of where we're at. Right. So if we're like, you know, doing inspections, or if we're getting the permits, there's a permitting folder with like permits in it. Or if we're getting inspectors to come and inspect that property, there's an inspection folder with like, you know, and the stuff in it. And they can literally tell how we're doing with that deal just by looking at where the folders are, in which sequential order that it goes into. And that's how organized we were when we were doing our rehabs. All right. And then, so that's kind of what I was thinking about being electronic, is it's not only good for you to be like completely virtual and electronic, because essentially it just relinquishes this like this power of you having to sit at this desk all the time, right? Because we don't want to have that. We have the freedom to be able to get up and like work wherever we want now, right? Number one. But number two is like, number two is that sometimes you're just like not even at your desk at all the whole day. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, okay, so if you're not at your desk the whole day because you're out like looking at properties or going to meetings or like going to networking events or whatever you're doing, can you still run your business from your phone? And that's where you want to be, is like, just in case something happens, I can still run my business and do everything that I need from my phone. Okay. That is the second thing. And let's see what else. And then why else do you need? What else are y'all thinking? Any questions? Why else do you need to be able to be completely electronic and virtual? The third reason why is because you want to be able to be as transparent as you possibly can with any of your with any of the partners that you have or the lenders that you have. And sometimes I mix like lenders and partners, right? Because a lender really essentially is a partner, right? It's just a different kind of thing. But you want to be like a completely transparent with them and say, look, like, this is how we are. Like, I want to create a win-win situation. I want you to make money and I want me to make money. The way that I do that is I'm like completely, one of the ways I do that is I'm completely transparent. So I'm going to share with you exactly what I do within my company so that you know how I run it. So for instance, today I had a phone call with a private lender. Okay. And I'll take my screen off so y'all can see me. I had a meeting with the private lender today. They booked a call with me, and they just went right onto my website and booked a call with me, because I have an investor page on there where if you're interested in lending, you can just book a call with me. And so they booked a call with me, and she was like, I mean, essentially we talked on the phone for like maybe 20, 25 minutes, something like that. The calls are usually like 20 to 30 minutes. And so she booked a call with me, and for the 20 minutes that we were on the phone, I mean, essentially she introduced herself to me. I introduced myself to her. And she just said, you know, I heard about what you do through the grapevine. She's like, I went in and like really checked you out. I went to your website. This is why you really need to have like credibility. You know, you need to have this. But she said she went to my website. She saw everything that I did. She went into YouTube. She followed me. She Googled me. She also went into social media and looked up all the social media stuff that I did. I mean, she really did her homework, honestly. And in fact, I mean, if I was going to loan somebody a couple $100,000, I'd be doing my homework too, right? So that's one of the things too, is like, if somebody wants to give you a couple $100,000, how much credibility do you actually have out there in the world, right? I know I have a lot of credibility. What are you guys doing to build that up for yourselves, right? If you want people to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars, y'all need to have some credibility, right? But anyway, she's like, I went out, I searched everywhere for you. You're like all over the place, Stacy. And she said, like, and I told her like what I do. And I said, look, I said, honestly, and she said, I have, I have a couple $100,000 I want to lend you for something. And I said, okay. And she said, I really need to talk to my partner. And I want to talk to my partner, just make sure it's okay. And I said, sure. I said, so actually actually the next step is I'm going to get on a Zoom call with you. And I said, if it's okay, like I'm going to send you over my schedule for next week, and we're going to plan an entire like hour to sit together so I can really show you what my company looks like. And and what I'm going to do when I get on the phone with her is I'm going to show her how I manage my Google Drive. Number one, how I organize everything and I share, and she could just essentially get in and see whatever she needs to see at any time. That's number one, is what I do. And then number two, I get into my property management software and I show her how we manage all of our facilities on the back end. So she kind of has an idea of how we do everything. And then number three, I'm going to take her into the deal that I'm going to show her the deal that I need funding for. And I'm going to go over that deal. So that the one that I showed you with the video to my lender, instead of doing like a video to her, because the lender that I sent the video to, he's been like my lender forever. So all I do is just send him a video and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll send you some money. This is a brand new lender that I'm talking to. She's never lent to me before. And so I will get in and I will show her for the first time, I will get in and say like, okay, this is how it's going to look. This is what the folder looks like. This is everything. So every single time that you lend to me, this is exactly what you're going to get. And you're going to open it up and see pictures of the property I want to buy. You're going to see videos. You're going to see the deal analyzer. You're going to see the report card. You're going to see surveys. You're going to see everything that you need is all going to be right there. All right. And I'm going to, and you'll be shared with that folder. So not only will be able to see everything that's going on, and at the same time, if you need to, we can always have like a Zoom meeting and I'll just kind of give you an update on how the deal's going, and I'll just do exactly the same thing over again. And she was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do that. And I said, just get with your partner and try to figure out which hour like you want to do. I'll send you my schedule and y'all can pick an hour and I'll just go over everything with you. And that's exactly how I handle all my lenders. Now, the first thing with the lender is that you've got to find the lender, right? You've got to get them to come to you, right? And you've got to get them to want to lend you money, right? Which is the credibility part. And the second part is when they do want to lend you money, you have to woo them with the way that you manage your business. Okay. So that's why I'm talking about setting up your office as one of the most critical things that you can do in your business. Because if you actually set your office up so that it's like so much so that not only you can run it from anywhere in the world, you can show a lender that you can do that, there's a guarantee that they're going to give you money. Right. So that is the whole purpose of this webinar. What are y'all thinking about that? What are y'all thinking? Questions? Can you set up the foundation of your company and make it look awesome so people want to give you money? Good. Leanne said yes, definitely. Okay, good. Who else? Give me some feedback. I'm feeling kind of lonely here. Are y'all sleeping? Did I put y'all to sleep? Should we all just take a nap? Should we go home and have a beer? Okay, who else is here? Leanne. My assistant says saves in Google Drive and my photographer. Good, awesome, very helpful. Okay, good. All right, good. I think that's good. I mean, I think that's good for setting up your office on the Google Drive side. I wanted to make sure that y'all just saw my office and saw how I did that. Okay, that's number one. And number two, I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about the difference between the LLC and the S Corp, because actually structuring your business is very important as well too. Okay, so, and that's setting up the foundations of your business. Now, I'm not an attorney, all right, and I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, anything like that, all right. I'm just going to tell you kind of what I do. Now, we do have, as a sponsor of REI USA, we have several attorneys and accountants. So make sure you go to the sponsors directory so that you can see who the accountants and attorneys are that sponsor us. Okay, and also Deanna Britt, who owns Law Clerk on Demand, is also an attorney. She's our general counsel for REI USA. And she helps people truly understand how to set up their businesses properly. So like LLC. So I don't know if you guys have your businesses set up or not, but if you don't, essentially, I would highly recommend doing like a free consultation with Deanna. Okay. Her company's Law Clerk on Demand. She's at the very top. And she's the one that she's the one that does all of our legal stuff, like literally everything. She does all of our legal stuff. Okay. And so I highly recommend even talking to her as well too. Okay. And she can help you to figure out like what the best structures are for you. But we have, like, when we first started out, we just had an S corp and an LLC. S corp's where we did our flips and like wholesale deals, and then LLC is where we did the anything that we held, right? That's our holding company. And so I highly recommend that y'all have two companies. Do y'all have y'all set your companies up? Where are you at in setting your companies up? I'd like to know. Give me some feedback. And do you have an S corp and an LLC, or how are y'all setting that up? Some people set up an LLC and then create it as like an S corp, pass through, like designated as like an S corp. You can also do that as well too. But essentially, you need some sort of an S corp for doing your active income, which is wholesaling and rehabbing. And if you want to hold something, like you want to hold any property, like we hold storage facilities, multifamily, Airbnbs, rental properties would be in an LLC. Okay, so you want to have both an LLC and an S corp. And there's two ways that you can set that up. Number one is you can talk to Deanna and get like a consultation. She can help you do it. You could pay her to do that. Okay. Number two, you can use Legal Shield. And Legal Shield has a like an internal company called Launch. And Legal Shield Launch is essentially like their division of helping people set up businesses. And it's not even that expensive. It's like $150 or something to do it. And you get Legal Shield for free, I think, for like a couple of months. We use Legal Shield for a lot of stuff. Like we do like quick, what's it called? Document reviews, or like any sort of advice, right? So Deanna is kind of like, I guess she's general counsel in the respect that she does like trademarks and business structurings, and like she's kind of like the face-to-face. But if I just need some quick advice, like, and the reason I love Legal Shield so much is because it's like the biggest. I mean, they have like every type of attorney on staff, like every type, like every Legal Shield is in every single state, and every state has like 30, 40, 50, 60 attorneys on staff. So like everything, every type, right? So if you have some issue on whatever random thing, then they always have an attorney for that, so then you could just like get some legal advice. And that's $40 a month to do that. You can get, that's the REI USA discounted price is $40. Usually I think it's like $75. So I highly recommend getting Legal Shield, which you can go to REI USA in the members portal and just click on the Legal Shield section, and you can sign up for that. Or you can talk to Deanna and get some advice and consultation on setting up your businesses. Does anybody here have Legal Shield? Okay, Matt says you have an LLC to hold our properties, but we don't have an S corp yet. Good, yeah. So you need kind of like both. We talked about this, Matt. One of them is active income, where you're going to do wholesaling, right? Wholesaling is you can wholesale any type of property. So you want to learn how to wholesale. And in fact, if you have not signed up for Mike's wholesaling class, it's every Friday night at 7 p.m. All right. So we're all sitting at home on Friday night anyways. What are we going to do? We're going to watch TV? No, you go listen to Mike, right? Because Mike is going to be teaching you how to make money. Sitting on your ass and watching TV is going to make you how to lose money, right? So go educate yourself at 7 o'clock on a Friday night Eastern time and learn how to wholesale. Okay. And Mike is like our wholesaling expert within the community. He also has a wholesaling course that you can do. It's free for all REI US members. Just go to the online courses and you can watch that for free. Okay. Everybody needs to learn how to wholesale. That's it. Because wholesaling is essentially like, if you come across a property that you don't want, no matter what it is, you wholesale that off. Okay. And it's hard for people to understand this concept and grasp that, but essentially what's going to happen when you start really getting into this business is you're going to come across properties that you don't want. It happens all the time. So if you don't want that property, you just wholesale it off. You don't pass it up. You want to become a transaction engineer. This is how I'm so successful. It's like, I'm like, if I can't buy that property for some reason, I'm finding somebody to buy that property, or I'm going to partner with somebody that can find somebody to sell that property for me. Right. I'm like referring it off to like a realtor or something, you know, if that's how it goes. I'm figuring out something to do so I can make a little bit of money on it. That's called a transaction engineer. Okay. So anyways, so that's kind of what your homework is. Your homework is, number one, is to figure out what your structures of your company are going to be, LLC, S Corp, and get those set up either through Gianna or Legal Shield, and talk to both. And then number two is, like, if you don't know how to wholesale, you need to learn how to wholesale. So that's Friday nights, Mike's wholesaling webinar. Every Friday night. He's dedicated to helping y'all learn how to wholesale. And he has a course. It's 12 modules if you'd rather do it on your own. But if you want that live like this, that's Friday nights, okay? And let's see, what else was it? Homework. Getting your Google Drive all set up, or OneDrive, whatever you want to use. I mean, if you want to do OneDrive, and then you just get the OneDrive app and do the same thing. If you want to do Basecamp, get the Basecamp app and do the same thing. So just do it any way that you want, but get that foundation set up so you can make your business look like $1 million, even if it's not. Okay. Okay. All right. Any other final questions now? Anything else about setting up your company and making it electronic and virtual? Anything final? You want to get that set up so you can be like me and go travel 6 to 8 months out of the year and still run your business. All right. That's the goal. That was the purpose and goal of this webinar. Set up the foundations of your business so that later, I mean, it took me 10 years. It took me 10 years to get this way, guys. But those foundations are what I did in order to be able to do that 10 years ago. Okay. Any other final questions? Anything else? Hi, Linda. I haven't seen you in a while. Have you been hiding? Let's see who else is here. We have a lot of new people signing up. So thank you for joining REI USA. I promise y'all are going to love it. All the newbies out there. Who's new? Anybody here not know me? Anybody not know me? All right, don't worry about the size of the webinars and stuff. I promise it can start growing. We're going to have next month, you're going to have like a gazillion choices. I promise we're getting there. And don't forget about the Badass Women's Summit coming up on the January 29th, 30th, and 31st. Okay, so that will be awesome. So make sure if you can come and hang out with us for those days, you're going to be blown away. Okay. All right. Any other final questions, thoughts, anything else? No, it's virtual. We're virtual. REI USA is always virtual, no matter what. It's always just like this. All right. Nobody's meeting in person anymore. Okay. Not for now, at least. Let's just see what happens in the next year. But I bet you it's going to be like this for a while. All right. All right. Take care. Have a good night. And I will see y'all at the next webinar next Wednesday. Okay. Bye.